Hello, this is Dunstan Birchinger, Inspiration Coach, and today I want to talk to you about something that is a bit of a taboo, especially here in England. It's something that people don't want to talk about. Uh, People generally, it just never gets discussed. And I'm actually not talking about sex, it's nothing to do with sex. Today I'm talking about wealth, and maybe I will also bring in the word abundance. So, first question, I have a question for you. First up, what does wealth mean to you? Do you consider yourself to be wealthy or not? If not, do you want to be wealthy? If you're wealthy, do you want to be? If you consider yourself to be wealthy, do you want to be wealthy? And I want to ask you, because I'm really curious about this. I want to ask you, if we opened up the definition of wealth to not just mean money, and we're talking about money, we're talking about time, we're talking about energy, and also purpose in life, doing something you really feel passionate about, would your answers change? So if wealth was about having all the time to do the things you really want to do, if wealth was about having a really good energy in yourself to do what you want to do, and if wealth was about having stuff to do in your life that you feel really passionate and connected about, then I'll ask you the questions again. A, do you feel that you're wealthy? And B, do you want to be wealthy? Now, one of the things I've learned from my mentors about wealth, and that was in the context of money, is that people do not talk about it. People don't want to discuss their salary. They don't want to discuss their strategy, their savings. And if you take nothing else from this, one of the things that has really helped me is just to start to be really upfront about it with my friends, and to talk about things and say, hey, how much did that cost? Did you negotiate for that? What was a good, what price did you get for something? What do you want to spend on such and such? What's your budget for it? And what's your strategy for getting where you want to be financially? Because I found, since I've started asking those questions, that I can get so much more useful information when people are willing to share it, and it means I can learn so much more and learn so much quicker. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some of the reasons why I think people don't have wealth in their lives. And I just want to first up give you a bit of a disclaimer that I am in no way a wealth expert, but I am someone who's on a path towards figuring it out, and I've started to get some much better results. And the first step for me was just to realize the first key issue, which is that financial intelligence is not taught at school, right? You may have been taught how to write a check or open a bank account, but did anyone actually really teach you how to set your life up financially so that you could really be successful? They certainly didn't for me. And it took the realization that actually financially I was like a low-end special needs person, like a low-end special need kind of case. Once I realized that, then I could get on with starting to learn and teach myself. But to be quite honest, before that, I was in denial. So the number one thing I think that causes people challenges is that, we don't communicate about this. We don't talk with anyone about it. And we lack financial intelligence because it's not taught. Now, whether you think that's deliberate or whether you think that's just how it is because there's too many other things that need to be taught at school, that's a totally other topic. But it's the first thing is about coming out of denial and being really honest with yourself about what level of financial intelligence you have. And the easy way to know is, are you getting the results that you want to get? And do you feel open and comfortable talking about that and sharing it with other people? Other things that I think are challenges for people is that oftentimes people don't actually know what they want in life. So they just doing what the people around them are doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, if it's giving you joy, and if you're loving your life every moment. But if you're doing a job you don't love, and it's totally a matter of choice. And people, once you start to know what you want, once you start to, and I don't just mean wanting a certain holiday or a certain car, I mean wanting to live a life where you do exactly what you want to do the whole time, and you don't do things that you don't want to do, and you do things that you do want to do in your life. And I actually think that it's my personal belief, I don't know about you, but my personal belief is that it's actually possible for anyone who wants to really live a life of abundance and a life of real wealth. And I mean money as well as everything else. Now, I'm curious, do you know anyone that has plenty of time and plenty of money? Because I really know very few people. So if you meet someone that is abundant in time and abundant in money, then learn from them. Ask them good questions, and they'll be more than happy to share those with you, because so few people ever ask. And I did actually meet someone who was abundant in time and energy once when I was hitchhiking, and they were working working a mining job, and so they worked like 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, and it was really well paid. And in that guy, he had his 2 weeks off, and he had plenty of money, because you can't spend money down a mine, and he had plenty of time. But the problem there was working down a mine for 2 weeks. I never tried it, but you could see in this guy's eyes how deeply exhausted he was from spending 2 weeks down the mine. So he had time and he had money, but he didn't have any energy to enjoy himself really with it. So this is like, I don't know. I think it's one of those puzzles in life which, if you can figure out and get it working well for you, then life is sweet. Life is good. So what else stops people? If it is possible what if it was possible for everyone to be abundant and wealthy? Now, as always, if you think the barriers are outside you, and if you think the problems are, the reasons why you can't are out there, then you're making excuses and you're not being accountable. But what if all the excuses, what if all the possibilities were inside? And what if actually a lot of it is to do with mindset? Because what I see a lot is I see that people are afraid to be wealthy. And people are afraid to, it's a funny thing, because on the one hand, people like to have, status symbol cars and houses and clothes and things that show that they're wealthy, whether they are or not. But to actually stand up and go, yeah, you know what, I'm really successful, I'm wealthy, is difficult for a lot of people. And one of the reasons is that it's just there's stigma around the idea of wealth. And part of that is because in our heads, in our thought structure, we've got things a bit mixed up. And if this is wealth over here on this one hand, and on this hand, there's certain qualities of a human being, which are things like being greedy or being mean or being selfish. We've somehow got these things tangled up and mixed up. So we think it's impossible to be wealthy without being mean and selfish and greedy. Or if we're wealthy, then we must be mean and selfish and greedy. And I don't know about you, but I think they're two separate things. So what if we could like shake this thought structure up and shake this apart and eventually pull that apart? And some people are mean and selfish and greedy, and you're probably not. And some people have wealth and some people don't. But what if you could have the wealth without having to be an asshole, in brief? So those are some of the key things. And we're also stuck in a system of thinking, if we turn the handle around faster and we do more, we work harder, we do more hours, we're going to get what we want. But if the fundamental structure is broken, if we're going round and round in a hamster wheel, then no matter how fast you go round or how many revolutions you get, you're still just turning the hamster wheel. So it's really about looking at the underlying structure of life your life, my life, and saying, what do I need to do to create what I want? And I can totally recommend a book by Robert Kiyosaki. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he really breaks this down really nicely. And he covers this thing about trading time for money. So if we're gonna say what we don't want, then what about if we talk about what we do want in life? What about if we talk about what wealth does represent? And for me, wealth is about having choice. Wealth, choice to do what you want to do. It doesn't mean about having to never worry about money ever again, or having more money than you could ever possibly hope to spend. That's maybe that's excess. I don't know, but it means having the choice. It's also, I believe, a feeling. So it's a feeling of just feeling comfortable with where you're at and where you're going, and that you're moving forward. I never really realized how crippling fear around money was. I never really felt afraid. It wasn't cowering in the corner, but I've spent so much of my life really just not feeling good about my relationship with money, not feeling proud about it. And I've had money, I've spent money, it's come and gone, I've been in debt, I've discharged liabilities, all those kind of things. But point being is that I now know the difference, and there's still times where I go into a space of feeling stressed about it, and it kills creativity. It kills my capacity to do anything that I really want to do that involves my passion. So it's really about coming out of fear for me, and just wanting to be in a place where if I do something, it's an opportunity to be creative, rather than I've got to do something because I need money. And it just frees up a lot of creativity. So the third thing that I think is a measure of success around money is that money, if you're successful and you've got a good relationship with money, money is going towards the things that you really want to do in life. It's going towards having great experiences. It's going towards having the things that make your life work really well. It's going towards doing things like having great food, really healthy, nutritious, delicious food, and doing things that nourish you and support you and fill you up and charge you up, so you can get out in the world and be inspired and be inspiring, and be in service to yourself and in service to the people around you, whether they be clients or family or friends, but to have a good vibe and enjoy that. And it's difficult if you've got no money, but having money doesn't mean you're going to get that, right? So there is a meetup coming up this week. We're running a meetup in Bristol. So if you're in the Bristol area or Bath, come down to Bristol on Wednesday evening. It's hosted by Inspire Bristol, which is me and a few other people. And we're going to be using the work of Byron Katie to look into limiting beliefs and stressful beliefs around money. And I certainly know it can stir up things for a lot of people, me included. And we're going to be doing some exercises to discover some of the hidden dynamics, and then we're going to use the work to get some clarity on that and to dissolve some of those limiting beliefs. There is also, coming up on the 1st of June, there's an event that you can take part in anywhere in the world. It's called 28 Days of Courage. And the idea there is that you pick something that you can do every day for a month to help you to get new results in your life. So if in your life you want to have a different relationship with money, you want to feel more abundant, then maybe you could pick something for that, and you could choose one thing that you could do every day for a month to start to get different results. It could be putting a pound coin in a jar every day. It could be contacting people to see if they want to buy your product or service, and contacting at least one person every day. It could be, it could also be working on time. It could also be freeing up time to create abundance in time. It could be doing something every day to have more time. It could be doing something every day to look after your personal energy, to be doing a meditation to activate your energy. There's so many possibilities. So that's 28 Days of Courage. That starts on the 1st of June. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been Dunstan Birchinger, Inspiration Coach, talking about wealth and abundance. And I would love to hear your feedback. I'd love you to leave me a comment. What did you find useful? Do you have anything to add? What's been your biggest insight in your journey around wealth and abundance? So, you know, I love this topic, and I'm really just beginning my own journey and starting to learn more and more. So it's a pleasure to share that with you. And yeah, let's carry on the discussion. All right, I'm going to sign out, and I'll catch you on the other side. Ciao.